bright and sunny down here in Toronto. Once again, we are back. This time it's not a coffee shop in the background. Last time we got based around for a lot of good reasons, that there are a lot of people who were not supposed to be a part of Symposium who were a part of Symposium. So here we are from downtown Toronto. This is the waterfront. Probably you'll see a couple of planes going down. So sorry about that. All right to business. Handing it over to Shubham.
Yeah, so we are back again with the Option Symposium 2.0. So with the grand success that we had last year, it really encourages us to go ahead and do the second version of this. And this time, because we have the experience of what happened last time and how we want to go about it, I think we have thought about a very unique theme where, rather than just having speakers coming in from the retail background, we have tried to create a mix between people who have been managing their own money big time, or people who have been managing some funds big time, and also some people who have been trading on the retail side of it. So the idea is that you should learn from all kinds of people who have been hardcore there in the game with a very, very large sum on how to manage your own money if you have your own portfolio, and to some of the retail strategies of how we can deploy it. So I think the theme for the symposium that we have thought this time, we have really spent a hard time getting and researching on who are the people whom we should call this time. And if you look at the lineup, I think it's a very, very unique lineup where many of the people you might be not knowing till date, because obviously in the digital era where Twitter dominates and other social platform dominates, where we are also not very active, there's so many people who are hardcore traders who doesn't get time to go and spend time on Twitter and create an account and create followers. So it doesn't really work like that. So people who have been there in the game may not be very popular, but they have been there in the game for quite long is something that we are focused on. So the theme will be that we will have 8 speakers.
Yeah.
Obviously it will be inaugurated by Mr. ASHISH CHAUHAN, which we'll speak about in some time, but there'll be 8 speakers, and we will have approximately 4 to 5 panels where each of the moderator will have 4 panelists, and that will be the process of how we'll go about the symposium. So I think let's start with the first speaker introduction. So
Who needs no introduction?
Who needs no introduction, because Mr. ASHISH CHAUHAN is the MD at BSE, and everyone in the Indian market knows who ASHISH CHAUHAN is. Right, so the Bombay Stock Exchange is the venue this time, and we are very lucky to have Mr. ASHISH CHAUHAN inaugurating the event. So we will have him speak about how the derivatives in India has panned up, and how he has seen, or he has lived the phase of derivatives getting into the Indian market, and what are some of the things which retail traders or other traders should know about derivative, and what is the next level where we are now moving ahead. So we'll have some opening thoughts from Mr. ASHISH CHAUHAN, and then the speaker on the speaker side, we have the first speaker again who needs no introduction, and Mr. Tom SOSNOFF. So we are again glad to have him in India, and trust me, it was a very difficult time for us to go and convince him to come down to India, because obviously because of the age factor, he was not very keen on traveling down about 16 hours of flight, right? So but finally he agreed, and he'll be there in India. And if I think about Mr. Tom SOSNOFF, I really don't know who is the innovator of IV rank, IV percentile.
Right.
But if I have learnt about it, or if Bhavin has learnt about it,
absolutely,
we have learned from Tom SOSNOFF's video of tastytrade. So tastytrade is a big thing in North America. All the option traders knows them, and any option event is happening, you'll find Tom SOSNOFF there, because the kind of wisdom that he has been trading for so long, and he has been there in the game. He was the guy who developed Think or Swim, right? Just before he started tastytrade, he was the guy, and that is one of the best platform in the world for options trading. And then he started tastytrade, so he has already lived that journey of how to trade with Greeks, and how to go and find sweet spots on where you can go and exactly place a trading bet. I've seen some of his videos about ratios of Greeks and how to go and trade it. So a guy full of knowledge, and if he's there physically present at the event, obviously he'll speak on a topic, but he's there. We will have a file chat with him. So I'll be conducting that file chat of about 30-40 minutes where rather than just asking him generic questions, we will try to be very, very specific on what we are asking him and precise to something which can help all of us. And it's not that I'll be deciding the questions, you can recommend your questions as well,
Sure.
and our committee will pick up the final questions from that, and we will ask, obviously I'll add some of my questions as well, but we will create a very meaningful fire chat which helps everyone and which focuses on something which is unique. And our team is already researching on it, on getting the right questions, and you can also contribute. So that's about the first speaker. The second speaker,
Before jumping on to that, I just wanted to add a very simple analogy, if I may say so. Look at it this way, all right? Entire work of Albert Einstein is down there in the books, all right? But imagine yourself just sitting right in front of the man himself. That's the kind of goosebumps that we had when we heard him for the first time, and exactly same feeling I'm sure that all of you are gonna have when we actually hear him in person. A lot of perspectives is going to open up a lot of your minds, so be prepared to be blown away. That's Tom for you. After that, right away we have Mr. Rajesh Baheti. The man needs no introduction actually. It's like introducing. I'm a car salesman. I'm introducing Rolls Royce, right? So these are basically, he's one of the torch bearers of Indian derivatives, all right? People who know what derivatives is and how it evolved would know Mr. Baheti, very well. As far as occupationally is concerned, he is responsible for a lot of volume that happens in the exchanges. He is one of the greatest minds. Some of the things that he's gonna speak about will be so beautifully and so simply put in front of you guys, which could be as complicated as a differential equation, but then still, the idea is that having somebody like Rajesh ji share his perspective with you guys is going to be an eye-opener in terms of demystifying what exactly has been tabooed by a lot of option analysts, option community. Some people like me, I might have scared a few of them, saying that, boss, Greeks, beware. All right, this is a kind of guy who can simplify the toughest nut that is there to be cracked in terms of derivatives, especially the Greeks. So he's gonna be throwing some light on that. And jumping on to the next
after
one.
that we have Mr. Sushil Kedia. So I'm sure a lot of you might have already heard about Mr. Sushil Kedia, because he is the guy who actually brought all the technical analysts in India at least together, because he's now the ex-president of ATMA, and now he's the founder of Kedianomics. But most of the technical analysts in India, when I remember about 10 years back when people were thinking of getting into that, he's the guy who inspired so many people around to actually get into it. And not just technical analysis, even when we come to quant trading, he is one of the early guy who actually did a complete certification and a course from Singapore, is what I remember. And in his career, he has lived all patterns and so many types of technical analysis patterns, and then he has combined it with systems, and that is something which I like about him. So he'll be speaking about options trading, of how exactly you can integrate. But honestly, whatever his topic is, we are yet to receive his topic, but whatever his topic is, what I would want to listen to from him is that if I have to refine some of the finest Elliott wave analysts in India, I would look up to Sushil Kedia. And there's a very hot thing that is going around, at least in the North American markets, that how do you apply options on options on Elliott waves. So even though he might or might not choose to speak on that, but I'm being blunt, if you find him around in Option Symposium, go and get some knowledge on these lines, because this is something that I would expect him, at least offline, that at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, speak about something which can combine Elliott wave breakouts with options, and that is something which can give an edge to option buyers in getting the right direction of where to go and participate. And if you can do that, that will be something unique. So just to summarize, Mr. Kedia, he'll be he is a Gyan ka bhandar is what I can say in many of the domains, and obviously we'll have the wisdom to go and listen to him. And the next speaker is.
Well, so the next speaker that we're speaking about is SRIKANTH. SRIKANTH Iyengar, Mr. SRIKANTH Iyengar is one of those father figures where I was a derivatives analyst in Motilal Oswal, and right then he was at the position which was the biggest that there could be in the derivatives, right? One of the most respected names in the industry, and somebody who has handled lots of money. Now I cannot be more specific about it. That's the lots, and more than that, despite of the fact that the volume of money and the volume of options that SRIKANTH and his team has been handling under his guidance, under his mentorship, I know a few people who are working under him. So that's how I can tell you that somehow he has articulated his strategy so beautifully well that over the years the team has not lost a lot of money, or any money for that matter, periodically speaking. So that's one. Second thing is that these are the guys who know what they're doing, right? And probably as retail investors, retail traders, when we take a trade, for sure on the other side of it, it's biggies like these who provide liquidity to us and who know what they're doing. So if on the basis of some sort of huge put open interest, if I'm saying that there's a huge hurdle around here and the stock cannot fall down, chances are that a big part of it is written by somebody like him. So you have to understand the perspective of somebody who can create those kind of positions, and what sort of intellect would go into that, creating that position, and conviction to hold on to those. So wonderful.
I would actually add
yes.
a small thing to this, because I've heard SRIKANTH talking about his strategy in the past, and one of the good things that I like about him is that if you're trading for yourself, you cannot put everything in one strategy, right? So we have heard about this phrase of don't put all the eggs in one basket,
right?
But he is the guy who knows how to deploy and manage funds between different strategies, diversified properly. And he used to say that सारा strategy हर बार नहीं चलेगा. You'll have some strategies working this time. But his calculation that if I have to achieve a 18% ROI, taking care of that something will not perform and something will outperform, but how do I achieve that target still, right? So I think if you are an individual trader and if you're trading for yourself, you need to know that kind of a skill, and SRIKANTH is the guy who has done it for n number of years, and you'll get an opportunity to at least speak to him with your specific questions and how you can go and manage your own portfolio with proper diversification and making sure that your strategies are not very intercorrelated is something that I find unique. Right. The next one I think is Santosh Pasi. Sorry about that. I think the wind is going.
So it's going to keep happening. So sorry about that. So it's the frame basically which is going to get distorted. Santosh is a very, very simple guy. All right. It's the feeling that he's one of us. Whenever you get a chance to meet him, see him, come down to the option symposium and you see him, he's very simple. His logics are simple. His mathematics is simple. He's a techie basically, right? And the amount of simplicity that he's brought into his own strategies, and the way his expertise on technology actually brings in a bit of that oomph into the way Santosh looks at the market and talks about the market is going to be wonderful. Considering that we had a lot of whistles going around in few of the sessions back in Options Symposium 1.0, this is one of those sessions that's going to be up for a lot of whistles. I'm going to out him now, so I'm going to rat him out. He might. Okay, now this is at least a disclaimer. He might talk about something on the expiry rate trading, and believe me, this is a guy who actually has made serious amount of money deploying a lot of retail capital. Okay, not a lot of fancy tools, basic simple strategies which can actually work in the market from tomorrow itself. So. Go ahead.
So after that, I think if you're done, then we can talk about ASHISH.
Oh yeah, and of course, and then there's gonna be these two idiots who's gonna come up and say that toot our own horn that thank you for downloading Quantsapp, I hope you've read this tool and read that tool. No, not that. So it's not going to be a marketing bench. There is something that Shubham has always bothered me about. So we're going to bite the bullet and get into that topic, and because it's the deadline, because we have to speak to you guys, we'll definitely come up with the presentation is not made yet. Right? So Shubham, describe the topic.
So this time, I think a lot of people, and especially looking at the number of people who have started doing option writing, which I feel honestly that it's not something which should be so retail because of the risk factor that is involved. We have been trading for 16-17 years. We know how it goes. Retail आता है, writing करता है, पैसा खोता है और फिर चला जाता है, and that's a very bad thing to do, right? And a lot of people have started doing writing, which I'm not saying that you shouldn't do, you should do, but you should have a proper logic to it. It cannot just be madness, and you'll have to have a proper risk management. But then we thought that this time we'll talk about option buying. And when I say option buying, there's some of the logics that we use to trade in our own career. We have traded it for a very, very long time. And the good thing when you are an innovator is that you know when it will go wrong, right? So Bhavin was the guy from where I first learned. And if you have learned about option breakouts, कि यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा कॉल का हुआ है, यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा पुट का हुआ है, and then you are looking for a breakout on that. This is not new, this is something that we have been trading for about 10-12 years or even more than that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We made our money, and now the market has got into it to go and figure out that something like this happens and they are trying to make money from it. But the fact is that the study is almost at the verge of getting outdated, right? So it's at the verge of getting outdated, and then you need to know what is the next thing to do. So just to correlate this with technical analysis, I used to trade something like RSI divergence, or something like a symmetrical triangle, moving averages, 200 days moving average, Dow theory. All of these theories were good till about 2006, 2007, when at least for me, I used to make money tracking all these kind of studies. But suddenly after 2007, what happened is that most of these studies with a strike rate or a success rate of 80%, it gradually started coming down to almost 50%, and it became random, right? So now if a symmetrical triangle is formed, you cannot say with surety that whether it will go up or it will go down. And that is the nature of the market, that randomness will gradually take over, and you will have a 50-50 probability in everything, and that's how the market works. But in the next phase, when these patterns started failing, the next thing that I looked up to
that's
is
when
that can I trade pattern failure?
Yeah, that's when I meant. The only thing that I'm gonna cut him short here, that boss, this is what Shubham taught me. That is it too obvious? I was like, yes, of course. Then what's gonna happen is that it's gonna give you whatever you want in terms of price action, and then it's just gonna collapse. It's gonna fail, all right? And the failure is gonna make us money. Only thing is that last time around when I came to him, I was like, Shubham, look at this. It's gonna fail. So like, the failure is gonna fail now. Now even the failures have started failing. So that kind of
that's the
puts
nature of the
perspective
market,
in front, yeah.
derivative of derivative of derivative, and one day it will go to zero. But that's the nature of the market, that a symmetrical triangle breaks out on the upside. I'm not trading it. When it fails, the breakout fails and it again goes back, I know that a lot of people are trapped there, right? And I would want to go and put my strategy right there, and immediately you'll see that because of the overconfidence of the market, you will have a sharp momentum on the other side. So the reason I'm telling you this, that in the options data, if we look back to the last example, there was some juice left from the patterns, which was pattern failures. Similarly, in the options data, almost everyone in the market is now tracking at the highest call OI, highest put OI. So जब बिल्ली दूध पीती है तो आंख बंद करके पीती है, उसको लगता है उसको कोई नहीं देख रहा है, तो आपको ही पता है सिर्फ कि हाईएस्ट कॉल OI कहाँ है और हाईएस्ट पुट OI कहाँ है, और बाजार वहाँ जाके रुक जाएगा, right? But there is an opportunity.
So getting thrown into my face, man.
So now there is an opportunity to actually, there's some more juice left in this entire game. Is that, can you detect that something like this is going to happen at a very, very early phase? So this is what I call looking above the nose, right? Look forward. beyond and look forward and see, can we detect that trend way early? If we can do that, we have a lot of money to make. So that will be a topic which we are going to talk about jointly. So we'll have a joint session on that, and we'll talk about option buying with how can you be ahead of the crowd in detecting something. So that's something which might add a lot of value to you. So there'll be two more speakers which we don't have as of now. We are still in talks with a few people.
Right.
Once we get the confirmation, I'll do a separate video, maybe because Bhavin will be in Canada, I'm coming out to Mumbai.
Yeah.
So we'll do a video separately for that. But there'll be two more speakers that will get introduced before
a lot of flights in the background.
Yeah.
Probably a lot less wind.
No, there'll be a lot of pollution in the background maybe because of the AQI level that
Oh, yeah.
Mumbai and Delhi has nowadays. But anyways, so now coming to I
the
think
panelists, yeah, of
panelists.
course,
So
of
we'll
course.
start with Siddharth first.
Yeah. So
All the structure, I think 4 to 5
structure
panels,
is better actually. Structure-wise, we've got four panels and one a hidden surprise. So there could be a few surprises in store for you. Chances are some of them will be unveiled on the day of event. All right. I don't know about that because we still don't know exactly how we're gonna articulate that into the program. But then, nonetheless, 4 panels is something that we're contemplating as of now. Few of them have come on board. You might have seen them on the website as well. So we're going to talk about some of the panelists. But before we go ahead and do that, somebody who's very close to us is Siddharth. We're going to open with him, okay? Shubham was asking me, he took my phone and he wanted to talk to Siddharth. Okay, I was driving and he's like, where's Siddharth? He's like, try typing smart said. And his name come up, all right? So this is a guy who is insane. All right, that's how I'll put him. Right, a rational, insane person. It's an irony in itself, but the guy has achieved exactly what he's put his mind to, and a brilliant option analyst. He's been there when I was around, so I know what it takes to be trading those markets and taking those clients. And some of his theories are I still respect. His perspectives are wonderful. He's done whatever that there can be done into the stock market for sure, and in the world of fitness for sure. So he's gonna be moderating a session which is gonna be a specialty in its own. But on top of that, we're gonna have 4 sessions, 4 different panels.
Yeah, so before we get there, I'll just add a quick line about a comment about Siddharth. So
Okay.
me and Siddharth used to be on the same panel on CNBC TV 18 in the morning show. And that time, obviously we were doing derivatives, but because Bhavin was taking care of the entire derivative piece, I was not very much involved in that.
Right.
So my piece was more technical analysis. But one good thing that I observed about him is that, when we are talking about the market, the way he used to come up with his own data.
Right.
And honestly, wherever the data used to coincide with my studies and we are on the same show, and if the stock coincides, we used to actually go ahead and take that trade, right? So he's the guy with data. He would not talk in the air. He would talk data, and that is something that I like about Siddharth.
Absolutely.
And in the last option symposium, he was a moderator, and more than that, he was one of the very serious listener of the entire event. Right?
God
He was
knows,
sitting in the
exactly. God
first
knows.
row with his copy and a pen, and he noted down almost everything.
He did. All right. Who notes down jokes, man? I mean, he actually pulled out one of the things that we joked about. So it's wonderful to be having him. Of course, we're gonna have the panels for rest of the 4 panels also moderated by interesting people.
Yeah, but the second one is Pradeep.
Yeah, Pradeep.
Pandya. So if I have to talk about Pradeep, I've been on CNBC Awaaz multiple times, and he has been the anchor for that show. One good thing which I, in the first interaction that I had with Pradeep, one good thing that I saw about him, that he's a blend between technical analysis and derivative data. Right, and that is why now, because the guy has a good sense of how both the theories work, his questions at times are so apt and so precise to the point that you would love to answer to something like that. So I think Pradeep will host a very good panel with his blend of sense of technical and derivative analysis.
Right.
We will have a few more moderators, but again, that is yet to be announced, so we cannot talk about that right now. But hopefully by next week, maybe we'll have the other 2 names as well. Now coming to the panelist, I think we can start with Jyoti.
Jyoti ma'am. Jyoti ma'am is Jyoti Budya, or you can say Jodi Bhav. For me, I have still saved it as JB only because she's done wonders with simplistic strategies, all right? And she's been around forever. I know her for about a year and a half. I've heard about her, but then I know her for a year and a half, and I know exactly how she trades. So simple, so brilliant, and she's a beautiful person. And somebody who has been in the market, I don't know, I still remember, if you ask me, who's the person who's been there in the market, who's the lady who's there in the market that you know of, the only person that I knew of was Dina Ben. Dina Ben was director of BSc, I know, for some years. And then I realized that Jyoti ma'am was there even since Dina ma'am was there in the market. So, I mean, she's gone through the entire open outcry. She's seen evolution, the birth and evolution of derivatives. And the one thing about Jyoti ma'am that I would like to talk about is that, that I have learned is that she picks up on everything. She keeps on learning and she keeps on applying. So I still know this for sure, that whatever she's going to speak about in the panel and whatever that she's going to speak about along with you guys, she's going to have a completely new perspective with a new set of techniques which she will develop over the period of between this video and on the day of Option Symposium. So that's going to be wonderful.
So about Jyoti, because Bhavin has not met a dad, but I have done
yes.
that. So she's a generation of traders.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So her dad was also a big time trader, and now that has got passed on to Jyoti.
खून में है उनके.
खून में है.
Right.
So the next panelist will be Vivek. So I'll talk about Vivek.
Yes,
and then you.
yes.
So or else you talk about Vivek. I'll talk about Visvesh.
Vishwesh, I don't want to talk about Vishwesh. Vishwesh is a good friend, all right. The only person whom I spoke to in Gujarati in the symposium for the first round of people who were like arguing with the speakers. He can question anybody, boss. He has wonderful set of knowledge. But then Shubham is more experienced in terms of having conversations about market with Vishwesh than me. So I'm gonna give you a bit on Vivek. Vivek is हमारे जमाई बाबू, ठीक है. So not because of that he's a part of symposium. Of course, he has a super personality, very humble guy. क्योंकि उनको देख के कभी आपको ऐसा लगेगा नहीं कि मतलब he is owner of such a huge knowledge and such a huge intellect. Very simple person, but he understands the pulse of trading. When we speak about that, his work on the algorithmic trading side is very well known and very well respected in a lot of, how should I put it, high rolling circuits or traders in the market. And this is a guy who can, once again, I would still like to say that, this is a guy who can pick up on anything and everything. So, somebody who can make, I have not had an opportunity to hear Vivek a lot, but then over the phone, we many a times we've discussed a lot of things. And one thing that I have noticed and I have respected always is that a simple representation of something that is so high tech and so air-waking, if I may say so. It's like when there is speed in question and when I'm losing words even to explain it, this guy is going to explain the whole thing in a very small and simple manner and he'll go away. Alright? He's generator of a lot of solutions for people who want to automate but are not and have a lot of ideas. And apart from that, his own set of bank of algorithms are phenomenal and have been making money. So you're gonna get a lot of insight on either side of automation and on a few of the algorithms, I'm sure.
Yeah, and coming to Visvesh, I think when Visvesh is there, you'll see a lot of butterflies moving around when he's speaking. Because I remember him with his butterfly strategies, because that is something, see, everyone has an edge. And with practice, you create an edge for yourself. And I think when I think about Visvesh, his butterfly strategies is something that maybe, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm just giving my opinion and my view of what I have observed. but I've seen him talking about that so many times, and he has practiced that so much that he has got a very good grip of how to go and deploy something like butterfly. So I think, when we talk about the panel, it will not be a random panel. All the panel will be well structured. Obviously the moderator will ask their own questions and they'll be prepared, and we'll give them a background of what everyone is coming from. But we will also have specific questions which we will come up with, our team will come up with, and you can also recommend, because there'll be a forum where you can participate. All the symposium attendees can participate, and we'll have the questions in advance and we'll fit it in the panel of where it is apt. But the thing is that we will have very specific questions with these people, and if I have to ask something to Visves, I think I would want him to explain something which is unique, which we used to do but we have not executed maybe as many times as he has done. But if you think that butterfly strategies are only for non-directional movement, you're wrong, because there's a very good amount of money that you can make by placing OTM butterflies, right? So if Visves is a guy who has deployed this so many times, and I think if he speaks something on those lines, this could be very, very interesting, that how can you trade directional with the OTM butterfly. And let me tell you, if you go right on an OTM butterfly, that would be one of the strategy which has the highest reward to risk. Absolutely. You can achieve a reward to risk of about 7 to 1, 8 to 1 easily if you are trading an OTM butterfly. So I think that will be a very interesting topic. So now to sum it all, we'll have more panelists joining in gradually. There will be some more speaker lineups gradually joining in, and obviously moderators. But for now, we have this as a lineup, and till the symposium, we are confident that we'll make it more sweeter. And I think that's just about the event.
To close it up once again, it's a pain in the what the logic is, right? Okay, there's a gentleman who wants to play some music. Thank you very much for entertaining us. So finally, so basically it takes about 3.5 months worth of a core effort in gathering these beautiful, wonderful minds from India and from across the world to bring down into a place and enlighten all our option trading community. Hope you guys make the most of it. We've done our bit for the option community. The only thing that we would want out of this entire exercise is to have a community of option traders which is renowned in the world as the most literate option community, where you can go right, you can go wrong, but this is a community of option traders which is out of errors. This is error-free trading to the next level. That's what the agenda is.
And actually, to bring down the community together, any which ways option symposium is something which is completely not for profit. And when I say not for profit, it will be a big thing if we don't lose money. So in most of the cases, we might invest from our own pocket also, that goes in the event. So a lot of people will have questions and all. But if you guys trust us that it's a not-profit event, and we want it to be like that, so that the community comes together and we all learn mutually. Because if I have to go and just go and have an individual session with the speaker that I like, it's very, very difficult to actually get that. But as a whole, we can have some of the best lineups in the world coming down to a platform, and we all will have an opportunity. So the biggest excitement about Option Symposium, and I'm talking about me, Bhavin, and the entire team at Quantsapp, for the best thing about Symposium is that the learning that we get out of this event is something which is insane, right? So and that's the biggest motivation of why we want to continue and do something like this, doing the hard research of getting the right speakers, getting them on board to come and speak about something. We are not just letting them speak anything, we are in talks with them to make sure that they talk about something which helps the community. We have already given them the background of what kind of people attend this, and how this can help us. So that's the motivation behind the Option Symposium. So I think we'll sum it up here. And
right, so just don't forget the dates. It's 4th and 5th of January 2020. The venue is Bombay Stock Exchange.
Yeah, so the Bombay Stock Exchange is a venue which you can just say Bombay Stock Exchange. You don't need to tell the city, the country, nothing. Right?
Exactly. So this time around, that's one of the things that we were honored with by the exchange. Thank you very much. Credit goes to them, and of course the people who worked hard to make it possible. See you there.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.